It's time for Recipe of the Day. For New Year's Eve growing up, we almost always had shrimp, whether it was from a Chinese takeout or my dad making a delicious shrimp cocktail for us. There were succulent, juicy shrimp for sure. Now, my favorite dip for shrimp is cocktail sauce. I love the spicy horseradish, but I never find that it goes quite as well with fried shrimp, like deep fried, crispy shrimp, as it does with like cold shrimp cocktail shrimp. I think the issue is that when I'm having that like fried shrimp experience, I want something a little creamier, like a tartar sauce kind of thing, like I get with that like beer battered fish and chips kind of thing. There's something about that fried fish and creamy sauce that I really love. And so this year I have come up with kind of the best of both worlds. This is a dipping sauce for shrimp that has the ingredients of cocktail sauce, the ketchup and the horseradish. So it's like sweet, tangy and spicy, but then also creamy because of some mayonnaise and then some hot sauce and Worcestershire just for that extra heat, extra meatiness, and a little bit of honey just to round things out. So it's like creamy, sweet, spicy, tangy, all of it together, perfect for your fried shrimp. So then if you, like me, are having shrimp for New Year's Eve, you have got to make this. I will give you the amounts of the ingredients now, and then you'll have everything you need for the perfect shrimp feast. So start with 1 cup of ketchup mixed with a half cup of mayonnaise, 2 tablespoons of horseradish. And I'm going to say it again. I've said it so many times to you. Make sure that you're getting your horseradish in the refrigerated section of the grocery store. That is so much brighter, fresher, and spicier, that prepared horseradish, rather than in the shelf stable section. They're just not as good. Now, if you don't have the horseradish from the refrigerated section, or if your jar of horseradish has been in the fridge for a little while and doesn't seem to have as much flavor to it, or if you taste your horseradish and it's just not punchy enough, I recommend using a little bit of dried mustard powder for that heat. You'll remember when I did the recipe for the cocktail sauce without horseradish, for people who don't like horseradish, or for when you want to make cocktail sauce and realize that you don't have any horseradish, one of the things I used to approximate that kind of radishy flavor was the dried mustard powder. So you absolutely can punch up the horseradish flavor with some of that if your horseradish is not as spicy as the one that I'm thinking that you're going to use. But it's 2 tablespoons of the horseradish, and then a tablespoon of honey, a teaspoon of lemon juice, half a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, half a teaspoon of hot sauce, and a pinch of salt. You mix that all up and then give it a taste, and you could add a little bit more salt and or a little bit more hot sauce if you want it just a little bit spicier, and then you can use that immediately. But like with all of these kinds of sauces, they benefit from a little bit of time in the fridge just so that the flavors really, really blend and become like one thing. And so, cover it or put it in an airtight container and just pop it in the fridge for, at least an hour, and it's going to be amazing. And I will link in the show notes for this podcast episode, not only to this recipe, but also to my cocktail sauce recipe, the cocktail sauce without horseradish, and to my shrimp cocktail recipe and the amazing deep fried shrimp. They are so light and crispy. The coating is panko breadcrumbs. I cannot get over them. They are so good. So I will link to all that for you. And like I said, I will also link to this shrimp dipping sauce recipe, or you can get this by going to cookthestory.com/ROTD. Everything there is arranged by date, so it's helpful to know that today is December 30th of 2024. If you love this recipe, or if you love any of the recipes from either of my sites that you've tried, from Cook the Story or from thecookful.com, please go and leave a comment and a 5-star rating. That really helps me know what you're loving, and it helps other people find my site. So I really appreciate those comments and 5-star reviews. Thank you to those of you who've been doing it. I see you. I know you're doing it. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't done it yet, what are you waiting for? Go and help me out. I really appreciate it. I'm Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, the all new chicken cookbook, and from this podcast, Recipe of the Day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.